today, which means always a little bit complicated playing guitar because everything is weak and thin. Don't complain. Today I have two things. First of all, I got a really interesting pedal, the Hughes&Kettner WarpFactor. Friend of mine had it and showed it to me. Sinus, and I liked it. It's really cool, and you get it sometimes if you are lucky. You get it somewhere because it's out of production, but you can get it very cheap. It's a cool device. It's don't know if it's a fuzz or a distortion. Let's say a distortion, and I tried it as usual as a sound enhancer. I don't use it for heavy riffs and heavy fuzzing, but it's a little bit different flavor of boosting my, let's say, LesPaul. That's the second thing I want to talk about today, because a LesPaul is, you need to have one. Maybe some of you know, that's not a very special one. That's a R8 from, don't know, 2015 or 17. But I pimped it. I changed pickups, hardware, electronics, and I would say with these changes you can make every LesPaul like a burst. No, not really, but direction. Which means the hardware has to go because the old dummies. The old hardware, I would say, is a very important part. I prefer Faber. Recently I saw some guys on YouTube talking about there's even better stuff for uncles. Okay, maybe, I don't know this brand. I know Faber. Faber is really good. Crazy Parts is also okay, especially if you for the and there's another cool invention. Usually I change the stop tailpiece to a lightweight aluminium one, for sure. But this one is special because that's a I will write it in the description. Lightning Guitars, that's the brand, which has an interesting string hole solution, because normally we know if you like it, as I do, straight to the body, you have a little bit an angle which could be too much for touching the bridge on the wrong places, but with this, problem solved. Cool. Anyway, it has to be light from the material. Pickups, I prefer the BAF style, which means about 8, a little bit more on the bridge, a little bit less on the neck. Then you have the possibility of getting every sound out of your LesPaul, which sometimes people say, oh, you can't play clean. And no, that's not true. You could go in the extreme direction, putting some super distortion or similar pickups in the bridge. Then you have the really very creamy, high gain sound. But I prefer using everything on the guitar, which means neck pickup, both pickups, which I will come to in a minute. On the intro I noodled around a little bit with a clean amp, in this case the divided by 13, the clean one, the EVD39, whatever, but it's like a really clean, let's say Fender style of amp, which sounds a little bit like this. really keen. But that's not my basic sound. My basic sound is normally 99% something like the tube zone or the crunch. But in this case, let's try the WarpFactor. You see, it's not easy getting a clean sound out of it, but it's okay. Volume is about 2. And if I want a little bit more middle position with the bridge pickup, not full, but very near, let's say 8. Then that's my favorite sound of a LesPaul, this raunchy, mid-range, growling, cool. Then bridge. Full. Love this tool. It's not very much open, because if you would turn the gain up more, it gets really heavy. Yeah, it has also a bass boost. But that's too much for me. I use it as a crunch boost. And this warp knob changes a little bit the voicing, quite drastic. No, it's not so drastic. Let's do it full to the left, which is a little bit warmer. Other extreme. If you want more, Yeah, I have the TS10 in front of it, even more boost. That's what a tube screamer normally does. Takes away a little bit from the bass and boosts the mid-range. Yeah, good, cool option. Still clean on the neck pickup. And everything in between. So that's the way I use a LesPaul, and I would say that's even easier if the guitar is direction burst, because what's the good thing with the old LesPauls, don't know if I told you that I owned a 57 long time ago, and this was very extreme because this guitar was so, the pickups were really weak, and the wood was extremely light, so it was perfect for playing clean. That's the reason I bought it, because I always was a fan, still am, of Dickie Betts, and that's the difference. If you watch some old gigs, live at Fillmore East, for instance, I always was fascinated. I liked the Allman sound, cool, sure, who not? But it was more dirty, and Dickie Betts had this really beautiful, I would say it was a Marshall, guitar straight in the Marshall or something like it, and it was this really cool voice, like, yeah, Dickie Betts. So I fell in love with the 57 Gold Top. Yo, it's gone. Don't have it any longer. But no complaining, it's also not bad. It's a little bit heavier, has a fat neck like 58, is okay for a 58. And with these upgrades, I would say it's an upgrade. You can get really good sounds out of a newer, yeah. Other thing I did, I cryo-tuned it, which I think made it even better, more even all over the breadboard. Some people wrote in the comments, it gets muddy. I don't think so. No, it's a really fine guitar, and that's the good thing. You don't have to, it's impossible nowadays buying a burst, but it's not necessary. You can get a really fine new LesPaul, and you have also this option changing the important parts. 50s wiring, also very important. I always tell about it, because that's the good thing. Turning the volume knob a little bit down means a lot in the 50s wiring, because it takes out the bite. And on full you have all what you want. it's touch sensitive, cool. Even more with a not fuzz-like unit as this hughes&Kettner is. Let's see what the normal setup would say, tube zone. Yeah, easier for. Yeah, but that's my impression of this. The WarpFactor is more direction fuzz, which is cool. It's cool having different options. I wouldn't do it on the board because it's like the old fuzz face. Everything wrong. Input on the left side, output on the right. You need your own power supply. Not easy for a live board, but in the studio, no problem. I'm really glad about it. Yeah, and I've heard on a video on YouTube, there is another very, very cheap device which is really similar, which is the Behringer. It's a Chinese brand.
The German brand.
German brand, yeah, but Chinese built. Chinese. And it's called also something with warp. That's a clone of this. If you find this, you can get it for 20 euros. If you find it. Yeah, okay.
Let's take a shower.
Let's go home and take a shower. Yeah, it's summer. It's a hot summer. Okay, then thanks for subscribing. Have a good time and see you.
Bye-bye.